Hello viewers, welcome to Dailies on TVRC. I am Hagitunde Some Vincent. Joining me on set is
Oyedokun Adedoyin Samuel.
reading to your hearing is the Vanguard newspaper.
And with me is Punch newspaper. On the front page of Punch newspaper, Umeya must pay 695 million naira or approach court, says Wike. Zamfara government shut down 2 local government over insecurity. That's coming from Zamfara. Court nullifies Adamawa APC governor primary. No peace in PDP unless Ayu resigns, says Wike, could also be found on the front page of Punch. Buhari presides over Security Council meeting at Villa. Updated, Wike lists Ayu's other sins. 10 children killed in Cambodia boat accident will also be found on the front page of Punch. Also, this one is coming from the front page of Punch. Our issues not fully addressed, says ASU. Kano. Jubilation in Southeast. Federal government may appeal judgments. Lagos probes nurses for filming Rico Suave last moments. PDP woos aggrieved party members. BOT delays report is also on the front page of Punch. And lastly, Buhari's 440 honorees should be in prison, says Galadima. Hey, Mr. Akitu, let's take it from this last headlines right here. Buhari's 440 honorees should be in prison, says Galadima. That's something else I do.
Well, I think if you've got to listen to when Bulpa Galadima talks, he's always a man who has actually been in the political space for a very long time now. He knows Nigeria in and out. And but we all, good number of us know those who are on the list. It's not just the politicians alone who are on the list. We have musicians, we have sports, we have artisans, we have business people, we have businessmen and women who are also on that list. Should we say all of them are criminal? So, well, perhaps he's referring to some politicians, some corrupt elements who are fortunate to have been handed that honor. So I think that's in my opinion. Yeah, but referring to all of them, I think it's uncalled for.
Okay. Let me also take these 2 headlines coming very fresh. I say Kanu Uzodima didn't fought appeal court judgment. This one is coming from Imo State. Now, let's look at the issue of ASU. It's 8 months old, and we still have this red letter from ASU call off its 8-month-old strike, and yet the Academic Staff Union of Universities says it should not fully addressed.
Well, with the way things are going, I think the ASU, the university lecturers, they want to fight this battle headlong and because not for fake promises. Don't forget that they have the ground on which they have the grounds on which the strike has actually been on. Back in the they will give you the dates back in time in memorial during one particular government, one government, Obasanjo, government, Jonathan. They have so many of those. They have records of promises that have been unkept promises. So they felt enough of being taken for a fool. So they want to fight it headlong, and so I just hope this government knows at least if this is what you're able to do to address this issue once and for all. No sane country will shut down their university for more than even 2 months, not to talk of it's going to more than 7 or 8 months now. So enough of, I think the government should just do the needful, address the issue, address it once and for all. I mean, people are bound to disagree. people are also bound to agree. We are bound to disagree to agree. So I don't know why this agreement is not forthcoming. Maybe because so many of their kids are not in the country anyway. So many of our politicians' kids they are abroad. Maybe that's why they found it very difficult to address the issue. Well, that's my speculation anyway.
All right, let's quickly take this one also. Let's go into Nigeria justice and let's see what's happening in the Nigeria Court of Appeal. I'm talking about Kano jubilation in Southeast. Federal government may appeal judgment, but let's deal with the celebrations in the Southeast that Kano has been discharged, and the court says IPOB leaders abduction unlawful, Islam executive for recklessness. Kano has been discharged at this particular period of time since June 2021. Here we are in October 2022. Don't you think that federal government is losing most of its cases or case with agitators and
they don't, in the first place, they don't even have a case in the first place.
The federal government had a case
when you said that on a treasonable felony,
okay.
You said on what see, do you know what I've noticed about this country? This country will make a hero out of anybody. Anybody can be a hero as far as this country is concerned. We have people who are in the US, who are in China, who are very much, they are well pronounced anti-government personnel. But even at that, all you need to do is to monitor them. You've only make a hero out of him, and which is very good. Perhaps if that's as part of his own destiny, because destiny also has its own role to play in everybody's life. So what am I saying in essence is, government should release this guy. We have those who are terrible than these guys who are parading, who are walking the street of Nigeria, and they are not arrested. So why should you arrest him for that long? So you've got to see the whole drama. Even the lawyer, in person of Chief Michael Zekume, you've got to see how he knelt down in the public to say, what is all that? What is all that? You arrested him. People ask, does that stop those who are agitating for hip-hop in the East? You boggled him from Kenya. You said on the basis of the treasonable felony. Since after Sunday Igboho has been released, do you hear anything of maybe people still making a kind of this? Of course, it's always in the mind of the people. When you do the needful, nobody will talk about marginalization. It is when you fail to address issues, that's when people will rise up to say they will point accusing fingers to the government. But give people inclusiveness. You cannot. If they are not included in the government, they will are they not Nigerians? Are they not also Nigerians? Are they not entitled to be president? Are they not entitled to be Senate president? Are they not entitled to become a House of Reps speaker? Are they not entitled for vice president positions? If all that is not for isn't that forthcoming, they will talk. So we need to understand the point. The whole those who are the Biafra movement is in the heart of every Igbos, because injury to one, injury to all. If people from that part of the country are not given attention, all of them will agitate. They will all come out to talk about it.
Okay, thank you very much. I want you to lay emphasis on this, though I'm going to take my time to get some details out for our viewers outside there that does not have access to this. I'm talking about this one that says 40 or 440 honorees should be in prison. But if 440 honorees should be in prison, says Galadima, is coming from the former ally of President Major General Muhammadu Buhari, retired Buddha Galadima. As for the national honors recently given out to some person by the president, and he alleged that out of 470 honorees, not fewer than 440, there is a minus 30. Among them should be in prison across the country. And maybe I should try to do this. We have what is it called? Odo State Governor Rotimi Akeredolu. We have Tarawa State Governor Yari Ishaku. We have business Keshinti Adebutu, Aminu Bayero, Olu of Wari, and so on and so on and so forth. So their names were listed here, and so. But now let's take a look. Let's look at the captions that says, out of these 470 honorees, not fewer than 440 people should be in prison across the country?
Like I said, Buba Galadima, honestly, he's a very funny, eloquent, and he's a very eloquent man. You've got to maybe witness him one-on-one, or perhaps you have the chance to have a kind of interview with him. He's a man who knows this country in and out. A very, prominent politician at that. He has dined and wined with the timber and caliber of this, in this country. So it's not a man you can easily dump down like that. But the point is, like he said, that so many of them ought to be in prison. Well, he's entitled to his opinion. Maybe that's what he has noticed on those lists. Like I said, that list comprises of not just politicians alone. We have what's it called? We have musicians, we have artisans, we have business women and men on that list.
Yes.
So, well, like you said, I know you must be making reference to what's it called, to the politicians who are on that list. And of the truth, this country we celebrate. We oftentimes celebrate those that ought not to be celebrated at all, and we used to colorize mediocrity. We used to colorize corruption in this country, and that's why you see corrupt people, and they give them national honor, national title, and they return back to their village with Ashwebi. So that's been the case in this country. But let's hope that we take a lesson from all this, and our country becomes a place for a safe haven for all and sundry.
Okay, let me ask you this question, because it's been said that even accused, there's an accusation on Olusegun Obasanjo during his regime that these people, among these people listed that should be in prison, that should have been sent to prison at Olusegun Obasanjo's regime. Do you see anything wrong with Olusegun Obasanjo's regime?
So much is wrong with every government, ranging from 1960 till 2022. You can't except for a government that is actually truncated and short-lived, and that's the regime of two regimes, one in the military era, one in the civilian democratic from 1999 till date era. We have the period of General Murtala Mohammed period. That period, Nigerians could attest to the kind of atmosphere that we were breathing in at that period, although his period was actually short-lived and he was assassinated. Another period is that of President Musa Yar'Adua. His own period too witnessed a whole lot of economic increase, economic positivity. But his own period was actually short-lived. So when you talk about Obasanjo regime, so many things, so many accusing fingers here and there. Don't forget it was under the same Obasanjo regime that we heard about the third-term agenda. Yes. That people were carrying, using Ghana must go to, taking money out of the National House of Assembly with Ghana must go. It was still the same period where military were killed in Hoji, and Obasanjo had to order this military to level you remember the popular Hoji massacre.
Yes.
That's under Obasanjo. You could mention. So virtually every government has its own peculiarity. So to say that some people ought not to be jailed during Obasanjo, it would be a kind of I'll just be talking tongues in cheek.
Okay. Well, thank you very much. I think that's what we can get here out of all these news that are twinkling at me. So let's go to Vanguard and see what Vanguard has for us.
On the front page of Vanguard newspaper, federal government to explore appropriate legal options concerning Nnamdi Kanu. This is coming from the Attorney General of the Federation, Malami. Again, Guba race. Sorry, I take that again. Guba race, court nullifies Binani's election, says no candidate for APC in Adamawa. Lagos treats 630,000 of our 630,000 residents for various eye problems. That's the good news.
Yes.
We publish update version of our campaign team list, Labour Party. That's also a good one.
Yes.
From Labour Party. That's what we call leadership by example. You need to show to the general populace. Poor funding, insecurity, other identified as factors affecting farming in Nigeria. Just aim. PDP crisis tops agenda as BOT meet behind closed doors. Despite huge advances in diabetics treatment, access remains challenged in poorer countries. There's a report. James Brown apologizes to dads over leaked sex tape. That's not good. That's not a good one. Let him go home. Nnamdi Kanu lawyer reacts to court's verdict. Mr. Sam, let's commence our discussion from this pedestal.
Okay.
Let's take a look at poor funding, insecurity, other identified factors affecting farming in Nigeria. Do you think it is only these two that is actually that are affecting that seems to be affecting the farming system in Nigeria?
Yeah, number one is that when we're in school, we talk about empowerment.
Mm-hmm.
When we have fears of little or few people that want to
go into farming. Of course,
because they were not being encouraged at all. So, and we have so many issues that surrounds farming.
Okay.
We have poor transportation, we have poor roads, we have using of old tools, right?
Mm-hmm.
We have most of these things. And if you even want to hire a tractor now, the huge amount of money you pump into that. So this is one of the reasons why people are discouraged. And because of this, federal government itself, we had a debate some other time when we want to have this Osun State election. Is it not so? We have this kind of that. Just 2% or 3% of the allocation is being diverted to farming. Okay. And also we have it. So I think these two cogent point is one of the main.
Okay. Insecurity and poor funding. Okay. Now let's go to Lagos State. Lagos State says 130,000 residents for various eye problems. Don't you think other states should follow to take cue from this, especially the north, where we have those who are really experiencing different kind of eye defect from one form of eye defect to another?
Well, it's a very good move from Lagos State government. But how I wish that these headlines that we have right now, I wish we have maybe like 200 people that can attested to it as yes, truly it happens.
So you think it may be a caricature?
Yeah. So maybe it's another medium of embezzlement, but either of the two. But
it's still a good news. Yeah,
it's a good news. Yes.
Well, this way we are going to draw the curtain for today. All right, viewers, many thanks for watching us. Many thanks for always checking us on virtually on our social media platforms. But this, like I said, this is where we draw the curtain for today. Do join us next time for another exciting episode. Until then, remember, you remain your humble host. Bye for now.